Do you need this? I mean, this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes it real. It makes me sing with gusto. It makes me do it every night, repeatedly. You know, in order to do something repeatedly every night, there's got to be like some truth to it, so you can really dig your claws into it every night. If it was some made up bullshit you were singing about, like how, or if you weren't close to the subject matter, because then I can apply it to like, well, what if I love to be in a metal band and I sing about dragons? Well, if you love dragons, you know, if you're close to the subject matter, it allows you to really get into it night after night.
Dragons?
Dragons, yeah.
Well, I'm thinking like power metal, you know.
Well, then the song
Drawbridges.
Yeah.
Wild Woman.
Sure.
One woman in your mind, or maybe more?
Wild Woman is a song about, you know, the title is Wild Woman, and it conjures up so many images and so many ideas. But it's really, read the lyrics, it's just about someone who probably didn't have a good time in a relationship and just wants to stay out of love for a little bit and is tired of it. We've all been there. This is just me talking about a girl who's going through it. It could have been a guy, but the title Wild Woman sounds amazing.
Wild Man would not have...
Wild Man just doesn't work properly. Wild guy, you know.
Wild and crazy guys. That's Steve Martin.
So that's all that is. It's funny because the title conjures up so many different images, but if you read the lyrics, it's completely contrary to that, which I also like to play with.
Is it for you? Well, you mentioned Body Bags as being a key song. Are there other key songs for you during the writing of the album and recording?
I mean, they all kind of came about, and everything kind of made sense. Like with Body Bags, then it made sense to have "Gonna Be a Fight Tonight," and then with Wild Woman, it made sense to have a song like "She Ain't Coming Home." Not that they were meant to have each other, but they all worked within the framework of what we were making the album to be.
No, but sometimes during the writing and recording of an album, sometimes pieces fall together, and
yeah, those songs are very related because they came in a spurt, in the same spurt. So Body Bags came, I think Gonna Be a Fight came very
short after.
Knife,
yeah,
one of those two songs came shortly after. They all came in a batch like that, and it kind of set the tone. And once we had those songs, we were like, all right, we're actually in a good place right now. We're not, you know, like, oh, because for the last record, we had this kind of song, and this kind of song, and this kind of song, and this kind of song. And we were trying to bring focus to it and pick the best ideas. We also wrote like 40 ideas because Adam lived in LA, and he would fly in, and, you know, we wanted to make the best of our time. So we thought in doing like 40 ideas and having all this thing, we would, you know, cushion ourselves with all these ideas. So there had to be, you know, enough to make an album. But, you know, in actual fact, we lost focus, I think. I still like the album, like I began saying. But when you compare it to the focus of Fire music, yeah, there does seem to be some sort of lost focus. That's not necessarily a bad thing, because our previous albums, like We Sweat Blood and Sleep Is the Enemy, they had different kinds of songs on there. On We Sweat Blood, Heartbreak's a Blessing is, you know, complete 180 from a song like The Cross or Wait a Minute. They're two different, it's almost two different bands, but maybe the songs are just that much stronger. They still stand the test of time. I really, really think that we are a band who can do these kinds of things, who can go from You Wear Me Down on Rock and Roll is Black and Blue, and then do a song like, you know, Conceited, which is on the same record. Yeah. So this kind of ode to Zeppelin on You Wear Me Down, this same garage punk rock band can go ahead and do Conceited. And conceptually, I love that. Over the years, a lot of people don't understand that because people need their music, especially rock music, in compartments. Yeah. You know, you need your rockabilly here. Rockabilly can't go with sludge rock. Sludge rock can't do a surf song. Surf guys can't do doom. It's just like, you know, but here we are, and we're saying, okay, we can do this song that kind of sounds like Zeppelin. We can do this song that's like 1-2 straight ahead punk rock. We can do this song that's got John Garcia that alludes to some sort of stoner rock kind of vibe. all kinds of different songs. But at the end of the day, what filters out is the band. It's all cohesive. It all makes sense. It's all under the band, and it all makes sense. I'm most proud of that. We've already made that statement, I think. With Rock and Roll is Black and Blue, We Sweat Blood, Sleep is the Enemy, Born Alive. These are all kind of these, but to do an album that is as focused as Fire Music is something, to be honest, we haven't done. And it's a reversal of how bands do things. They usually start very focused and then they branch out. But we were branching out within all these earlier albums, and now we finally found some focus with Fire Music.
Can you say that maybe now you have found the sound that you want to achieve? Or?
Well, no, it's always been this sound. You take any song off Fire Music, and you could have easily slotted it on Below the Belt.
So now it's more.
But to do it on one album and have them all together side by side, we just never have done that. We came close with Below the Belt, and I think this is more of a companion to that album. So.
Is it for you, what sort of, can you maybe go back to what sort of mindset were you in where you actually wrote those first batch of songs? Can you tell?
We were pretty relaxed in the space.
Super relaxed.
That's the one thing. There's a good harmony with Rich, and so there was no wasted energy in other facets of our lives. So that kind of helps when you're kind of writing the song, so you can really focus in and harness that. Whether it be energy for a song like Gonna Be a Fight Tonight or Body Bags, you kind of, the focus, there's just so much more energy to focus on the song because there's nothing else that's distracting or nuisance.
So maybe use this experience for the next albums. Fire Music. When during the writing of the album did the album title come about?
It was a title that we kind of kicked around for a bit, and it just fit the record, really.
And can you tell when? When did you actually decide?
Right before we
when did we
started.
Actually decide it?
Yeah. Oh, when we were recording when we were almost finished recording.
Almost finished.
Yeah, we kind of said this is what it's going to be, and then I remember we told it to Eric. We told Eric a few other ones. He's like, I don't like it. Then I told that one. He's like, I like it.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
I think it's a good one.
Yeah, and it was our favorite from the beginning.
Yeah, so it stuck.
Obviously, you have to say it often, but when the first time that you came up with the album title, I mean, way back maybe, when was the first time you played around with this album title? I mean, was it 4 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago?
No, this was the first time that it kind of came up.
Oh, first time. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
so this is not.
And what does it resemble for you? Fire Music?
Let's see, energy. Just. Passion, if anything, yeah.
Because I'm looking for some sort of explanation for the album title.
It's just you know what? You're not going to get anything different. It's just a cool sounding title, man.
It's good.
From a bunch of guys who like rock music. So
people want to dig deeper about our band, and they find that they can't dig any deeper.
It's just three guys playing hard rock music, and the title sounded cool. Okay, sorry to not have anything deeper than that to say.
It's amusing when I notice that people try to dig deeper. And I get a kick out of it because it's like, you could probably dig deeper with other bands because they're more than willing to shovel more shit, give you more shit on a platter. But I really just like to cut out all that pretentious bullshit and just get to the meat of it, which is the bare bones songs.
Yeah. Well, then I have to stop with it.
So many bands, if I could go off for a second, love the fact that, journalists and writers and people want to find some meaning and deep meaning in what they're doing. They get a kick out of it. They love it. It's a big stroke to their ego. Me? I find it hilarious when people do it. I'm amused by it. But, I mean, flattered, I guess, that you're trying to find anything deeper. And maybe a little kind of, I'm apologetic almost that we didn't think any deeper.
Although I have to say one thing about the title. The other day a gentleman asked us if Fire Music was why we wanted to fire music. And then I was like,
Oh yeah, he's gonna get fired.
He took the title completely literal in a complete different way, and I was
He's thinking so deep.
and I
about
go,
it.
we're not Donald Trumping the title. It's don't worry, no one's getting fired. It's
No, but the thing is, people who don't actually create themselves or make music themselves, for them it's a big mystery. So that's why they try to dig deeper and try to.
I would disagree.
Okay.
I think it's because they've been told years and years by artists how deep it is that whatever it is they're doing. Everybody, the general public, assumes that whatever anybody does has to have some deep meaning because so and this person and that person just shoveled so much deep crap to their face.
he was eating spaghetti in front of the fire and thought.
That's just my opinion. I mean, it's music, you know. It's supposed to hit you between the eyes, whether it's indie rock or whether it's metal or whether it's soul music.
Yeah. Last question: how deep is "She Ain't Coming Home"? The last song on the album.
Oh, that's a really personal, deep song.
Okay, that is deep. It's just lyrically.
Yeah.
It's something that I was trying to do with Twisting Knife, and that's just like try to do a story, you know, in 3 minutes, tell a story in the country and western tradition. And there isn't really an ending to it other than the title of the song. But it wasn't something that I was trying to gain any deep meaning from. To be honest with you, it was more of an exercise in song crafting or whatever, just to see if I could do it. I've never done songs like that. I've always written from a very first-person, personal standpoint, or at the most like a third party, like telling a third party something, but from my own personal experience. So this is something that I'm completely detached in. I'm just literally a storyteller, and the story is detached from me. I'm just literally describing what I'm seeing. Nothing too deep. It's a sentiment that everybody has felt, and that's all.
Why did you try to write this more? Let's say this is more story based. How come? Why did something?
Well, Nick Cave has an album called Murder Ballads, and that is the murder ballad itself. When I remembered that title and I remembered the tradition behind it, I started to think maybe there could be something like that in a song for us. We've never done that. Granted, I knew that if I tried it, I'll be asked about it. But I still thought, well, let's just see if I could do it. I've never done it before. This album also has a lot of me like singing melodically more so than any other album, I think. And so there's some things we tried that, you know, that we had tried in the past, but we kept doing it. I don't know if I'll do it again for the next record. When we put out Below the Belt 2 albums ago, people were reading into the lyrics and noticing that I wasn't speaking personally. I was speaking to people, but from a personal standpoint. And that was a conscious thing. You know, I wanted to, maybe now when it comes to relationships, I'm not so much in them as maybe dishing out advice now.
Are you in a relationship right now?
Maybe. Maybe not.
That's the question. Okay.
Dank je wel.
Thank you for your time.
Maybe.